What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, y'all, I have a great show set up for you guys today. We're going to kick things off in our lead story with Don Lemon being under federal investigation, and he could be facing criminal charges. Yes, Don Lemon might be arrested and put in jail. In quick news, we're going to talk the Beckham family, Gervonta Tank Davis, Trump still crying over the Nobel Peace Prize and threatening to go after Greenland, Robert Griffin, Vanessa Williams, and NBA Youngboy. As always, we're going to close out the show with social discussion, lesson, and question of the day. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, radio, your devices up. Come on. We back off vacation, and I'm ready to start this show. Let's go. All right. What up? We are back off of vacation. We had a one-day vacation, but y'all know me. I'm never going to miss a day vacation, all right? So I see some of you were like, hey, what happened yesterday? I did say on Friday's episode that I wasn't going to come in on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, if there wasn't anything crazy going on, and I feel like it was all right that we took the day off. Y'all need a break too to kind of digest and just enjoy the moment sometime, all right? So, of course, welcoming everybody who is streaming live with us. We are live on Facebook, Indeed, YouTube, LinkedIn. Did I say LinkedIn already? Twitch, Kick, and Instagram. So shout out to everybody. As always, we will get to comments. And if anybody wants to come at the end of the show to discuss everything that we're talking about, please wait till the end of the show and we will get that going. Okay. I am really excited to talk to you guys about this Don Lemon, Nicki Minaj, and Donald Trump situation. It has been going on since late Sunday and then really a lot yesterday. I've seen a couple of takes on it. I've put the story together for you guys chronologically, how everything has happened. Nicki, Don's reply, the DOJ, and Donald Trump. And I am a tad bit on the fence. I really don't know how to take it. Ultimately, laws were broken. I feel like people are missing that fact. And you guys know me. I'm all about receipts and facts and laws. It's the same way how I covered the Diddy trial. It's the same way whenever I talk about anything that's going on. The law is the law. And we are going to break that down for you guys, okay? We are going to kick things off with the beginning. So this is Don Lemon literally just touching down in Minnesota and meeting this activist group that has been doing this thing called pulling up. And she has been doing this and leading these groups of people to pull up in places where they will least expect them and protest. She's been doing this since George Floyd. Now, we all know that protesting is legal. However, there is a law that stipulates that you cannot protest inside of a church, a place of worship, etc. Like I said, I'll get to the facts of that law. And so I think that's what a lot of people are forgetting when they're covering this story. And then we're also going to get to the point, to the question, is that Don Lemon was there as a reporter, as a journalist. And even me yesterday on my Instagram, when I did a quick reel to kind of break everything down for you guys because I wasn't on air, I mistakenly said, and I'll admit, hey, Don is a journalist. He's a reporter. He did not break any laws. There's nothing wrong. But this is what I want to get into a little bit. If Don wasn't part of the protest, but still inside of the church, is he breaking a law? He was speaking to the pastor, meaning that the pastor knew he was there, but then he also asked him to leave. So I feel like there's a very gray line here. So anyways, like I said, we're going to break this down. And then I'm going to go to you guys in the comment section and see your take, okay? So let's kick it off. I'm going to pause a little bit throughout, but I want to kick off with Don interviewing the pastor, and then we're going to show you what Nicki Minaj wrote, okay? Take a listen.
Why are you doing this?
This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now. Demanding justice for Renee Good and letting them know that this will not stand. They cannot pretend to be a house of God while harboring someone who is directing ICE agents to wreak havoc upon our community and who killed Renee Good, who almost killed a 6-month-old baby. Enough is enough. I am a reverend on top of being a lawyer and an activist. So I come here in the power of the Almighty.
Acceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to...
This is the pastor, okay? Or one of the pastors. We're not exactly too sure, but take a listen.
To interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
okay, but listen, we live in there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me though.
We're here to worship Jesus.
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why we're here.
Okay.
That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked that you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to
Unless you're here to worship. Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship.
Yeah.
We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Protest.
Okay, so that was the lady leading the protest and then the pastor. Now, if you guys caught what that lady said, sorry, I wish I had her name, but she said, it's not just, we're just not coming to a church. This pastor is acting, is an acting ICE agent. And we don't like the fact that he's here in church, praising the word of God, but then also leading potentially what people are thinking is the wrongdoings of ICE agents. Take a listen.
Minnesota went to City's church to shut down its service because they discovered that one of its lead pastors, David Easterwood, is actually an ICE agent.
So people have been asking me about...
Okay, so just to be clear, that David Westwood is not the same guy who Don interviewed. That's going to be really important if Don gets criminal charges laid against him, okay? Now, I'm going to get back to that video. So that went out. Everybody started talking. It started going viral. And of course, Nicki Minaj was the one who got the most press, okay? Just her being the celebrity that she is. So she wrote, Don C. sucking lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up. Now, this was Don's reply to Nicki Minaj.
Responding to Nicki Minaj's unhinged, homophobic tweet about me. I usually don't respond to this stuff, but let me just say this. Nicki Minaj, stop talking about for which you know nothing about. This is out of your depth, by the way, and you are homophobic. You don't care about African Americans, and you're not an African American. From what I know, you are reportedly an undocumented citizen, so you should be deported under Donald Trump's rules. And the other thing is that your family members, you have one family member who is reportedly a sex offender, the other family member, your husband or whatever, a sex offender is your husband, and one of them is reportedly a child. And you have nerve to talk about me and what you think that I do? Nicki Minaj, get a life. Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people, and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music. Clock that.
Okay, so now because Nicki Minaj and of course other people predominantly on the right and MAGA who do not like Don Lemon, by the way, former anchor and reporter on CNN, okay, for years. Now, that picked up, went viral, and everybody was talking about it. And of course, like I told you, just admitted, that's when I came in, I was like, Nicki Minaj, like, what are you talking about? How could you be going out here saying that Don Lemon should be put in jail? And that's because at that time, and I'm sure maybe at that time some of you might have felt the same way, didn't know of a law. Now, we're not saying that should you have gone into church or not. That's a whole other conversation. Of course, there's people who are going to say you shouldn't be protesting in a church regardless if there is a law or not. Others people are going to say, listen, Renee Good got unalived. Trump keeps doubling down and doubling down. Protests, the bigger we do, the more attention that we will get to this situation. But I don't want to necessarily talk about the church aspect. I more want to concentrate on the law. This is just my take on how I would like to take it. Now, the law comes in now, and this is an assistant district attorney at the DOJ, a very high-ranking one. Listen to her explain to you what the laws are, and then I'll read to you after. Take a look.
Badge or a shield that protects you from criminal consequences when you are part of a crime. And I think the videos show how close he was to these folks. I think further evidence will show more information about that. But he clearly knew, and he stated before going into the facility, it's on his own video, what was going to happen there. What was going to happen was a violation of federal law. It's off limits to go into a house of worship to do your little protest. Protests can occur on public property. Protests can occur outside, on a sidewalk, certain sidewalks, not all sidewalks. There's a time, place, and manner restrictions on the First Amendment right of protest, and they were violated here in this case. No question about it. The only question is who was involved, how many were involved, and how many charges are going to be brought here. Those are the questions.
So she's not playing around. It's not like if, it's which charges and how many. So it's not even a question. Again, we're going to talk about it soon. Should Don Lemon be implicated in these charges? We know the woman and the people that were with her, but should Don be implemented in those charges as a journalist documenting it? Now, let's use the analogy of, let's say someone's going to go rob a bank. If I'm saying, hey, I'm a YouTuber, I'm going to document this robbery, I don't know if I could get away with saying I wasn't part of the robbery, but I just knew that these guys were coming in to rob the bank. So I just wanted to go in and rob it with them. I mean, it's a very, very gray line. And I think I would be arrested too, as long as if I would, I think the only way that I wouldn't be arrested is if, for example, I was in the bank, let's just say, and then I turned on my phone and said, I'm going to document it. I feel like that would be okay. But the fact that Don Lemon was in the parking lot with them, before they went to this place, he says that he doesn't know where they were going, but he was just going to follow them. And then he followed them inside and then went live on his YouTube channel documenting it. Like I said, I can't go with a bunch of bank robbers in the name of, I just want it for my YouTube channel. I want to go live to show my followers what a bank robbery looks like. I think the thing that is a little bit gray is, it's not like he was inciting, he wasn't pushing them, he wasn't agitating them, and he did document both sides. He spoke with the protesters, and he also spoke with the pastor, or that gentleman there with the microphone. The gentleman asked him to leave. How long after did Don leave or not, I think is going to be very important. Listen to this.
The Trump Justice Department is now investigating Don Lemon, the journalist who has been on the ground in Minneapolis and recently reported on protesters inside of a church in Minneapolis. And well, now the Justice Department has, quote, put Lemon on notice that criminal charges could potentially be filed against him. That would be a massive attack on journalism, a massive attack on the First Amendment, because all Lemon was doing was reporting what was happening on the ground right in front of him.
Yes, but he walked in with them. Now, I want to show you guys the actual law. So the FACE Act prohibits use or threat of force, physical obstruction, or intimidation at places of worship and reproduction health facilities. It also prohibits intentional property damage at those facilities. It allows the AG to seek injunctive relief, damages, and civil penalties against violators. Now, of course, this went up high up the rankings, and Donald Trump got wind of it. And this is what Donald Trump had to say. Donald Trump reposts tweet saying Don Lemon should be sentenced to decades decades in prison for covering protesters against ICE who interrupted a church service. So just to be clear, Donald Trump retweeted this, but a retweet is the same as you writing it. It's just a shortcut. Now, this lady said a small group of elderly ladies were protesting at an abortion clinic and were given 40 years in prison for violating the FACE Act. I would like to see the same kind of sentence for Don Lemon and the people that broke into that church and did that during services. Now, we're going to close this off with hearing what Don has to say.
I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism, which was report on it and talk to the people who were involved, which included the pastor, members of the church, and members of the organization. That's it. It's called journalism. First Amendment, all that stuff. For all of you people who believe in the First Amendment, absolutist, there you go. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protest at the church, blaming me for stuff for which you have no idea. Thank you for your attention to the snap.
All right, there you have it. So I think I did a fair job, as I always try to do, showing you both sides, showing you from the DOJ, showing you from reporting on what is going on. And I think the question boils down to, if somebody is committing a crime and a journalist follows them into said place that the FACE Act prevents you from going in and you're walking in with them while they're causing the crime, is that covered under journalism? Is that reporting? And I think even worse yet, that he was with them in the parking lot when they were on their way going to the church service. Don maybe should have pulled up and maybe waited outside, but I'm sure he didn't, nor did I, nor did that other TikToker that I just played for you. I don't think too many people were aware of this, but that is not an excuse to break the law. Okay, so like I said, I'm anxious to come in hear your guys' take. Let's go over to quick news. We're going to talk the Beckham family because son Brooklyn Beckham is exposing his parents. Gervonta Tank Davis. We have some more about Trump. Robert Griffin on MLK Day with his biracial marriage. This is really going viral, and I really need your guys' take on this. Vanessa Williams and her shocking weight loss pictures. And NBA YoungBoy is naming his album a Trump slogan, and he wants everybody and all of his fans to just follow every single thing that Donald Trump has to say. Yes, NBA YoungBoy. But that's because he got a pardon. We'll talk about it when we get to quick news. Okay, the Beckham, the Beckham family, okay? The Beckham family. Brooklyn Beckham breaks his silence on drama with his parents. I do not want to reconcile. Okay, I have a video for you, shockingly, from Candace Owens. I was like, what is Candace doing talking about this? But she put it on her IG, and I feel like she sums it up really well. I'm going to give you a little bit of the caption. I'm going to give you a little bit of what Brooklyn actually said, and then we'll go to Candace, okay? Brooklyn Beckham blasts his parents as performative and controlling in a shocking statement about his estrangement from David and Victoria. I do not want to reconcile with my family, Brooklyn wrote in his Instagram stories. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. In the post, Brooklyn accused his parents of spreading lies about him in the press and trying endlessly to ruin his relationship with his wife, claiming that Victoria danced very inappropriately on him at their wedding. The narrative that my wife controls me is completely backwards, he says. I have been controlled by my parents for most of my life. A source recently told ET that Brooklyn sent a letter to his parents last year requesting that they correspond with him through his lawyer as an attempt to try and make amends privately instead of publicly. I thought that was important. Meanwhile, other sources say David and Victoria have reportedly asked Brooklyn and his wife to sit down and work out their issues in an orderly fashion. Now, this is the quote that has everyone talking. He said, this is from Brooklyn in his IG stories, My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song. In front of our 500 wedding guests, Mark Anthony called me to the stage where in the schedule I was planned to dance romantically with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me. She danced very inappropriately with me in front of everyone. Now, I don't have to hear too much more about this story. I'm not a big follower of Victoria and Brooklyn and David. But just that alone, you could hear that it's a little bit bratty. You know what I mean? Like, I was gonna go and dance with my wife, and I had been planned for weeks to dance with at a romantic song with my wife, and my mom was there dancing with me very inappropriately. Now, look, we have known Posh Spice for years, since she was in her teenager or in her 20s. I think we can count on our hands. Well, probably I can't even count on my hands, but I'm not a big follower. Like, how many times have you seen Posh Spice do something so inappropriate? So right away, that was like a question mark for me. And that's what I like about Candace, because Candace kind of not blows that up, but she's kind of just like questioning, like, really? Like, we need to see the proof. Anyways, take a look.
Is burning. Gaza has been turned into a parking lot. People can't afford everyday expenses. But let's focus on this wedding dress. The wedding dress from hell. It's obviously the most important thing that's going on in this world. I don't know if you heard this, but this billionaire family had a wedding, and Nicola Beckham, Peltz, did not get the wedding dress that she wanted. It's difficult for me to put into words how this is just one of those stories that gets under my skin. It's like the Blake Lively story that just gets under my skin. I mean, we've all been watching this sort of back and forth in the press. And yes, Brooklyn, I'm sorry if you're deluded by your wife, but yes, your wife was involved. She was very clearly linking to the New York Post. They were writing the most obviously bent articles against Victoria Beckham. The narrative that was out there was very clear that this was about a wedding dress. And Brooklyn believes that his wife Victoria made this dress and was going to make the dress, but then suddenly, right before the wedding, was no longer going to make the dress, and we're supposed to believe that one side of the story. But don't forget the part where Nicola went through multiple wedding planners who eventually ended up suing her billionaire father because Nicola was so unbearable that they shared messages with how she speaks to people. So that has nothing to do with Victoria Beckham, okay? It might be the reason, and again, I don't know any of these people, but it might be the reason that Victoria Beckham and her team decided not to make the dress. Maybe your wife was being unbearable to her team and bossing them around like a bratty American heiress whose dad can, just own stake in everything, owns stake in all of these companies. I get the feeling there might be a little more to the story based on what we were able to see from the wedding planners that she hired, the second wedding planners, third wedding planners, however many wedding planners she went through to plan this wedding, that you are now saying you are not going to speak to your brothers, your mother, your father, who broke his body to give you the bratty little attitude that you have, the bratty little lifestyle that you and her can afford jet setting. Your dad broke his body to give you that. He publicly made this announcement over a wedding dress and a wedding dance. He also says that Posh Spice apparently is not so posh, and she was dancing like Cardi B at the wedding. That's what happened. She just came out and started twerking, and he was humiliated. And who knew that Posh had Cardi B in her? I'm a bit surprised by that. I'd like to see the tapes. It's giving Blake Lively. It's giving like, now you got to give us the tape because now we're all here. We're going with you. You publicize this. Let us see Vicky B giving us Cardi B, because I want to see it now.
show us Vicky B being Cardi B. Shout out to Candace. That was good. I think Candace makes a very strong point. This is, modern day. Somebody has the tape. Somebody somewhere has the tape. If not, your videographer has the tape for sure. But I'm sure there's some cell phone footage somewhere. But again, I cannot for the life of me understand how you could even write that in your caption about your parents. Like, there's nothing that my mom could do in any sort of dance on any sort of stage in front of anybody that would cause me to write that in my disdain for my mother. Like, that is crazy work. And, like I said, Candace is bringing up a good point where she's getting around all the mess and saying, look, this really was highlighted over a wedding dress. And there have been wedding planners that have come out and sent text message and et cetera, et cetera. So this is really less about Brooklyn and more about the wife being an heir to a billionaire and just used to getting what she wants. And I feel there's probably some jealousy between Victoria and Nicola, Brooklyn's wife. That's my take from it. And it's just two rich kids being spoiled brats and wanting to just get away. My whole thing is, what I would say is, you want to get away? All right, deuces. You're getting away, but you're getting away from all my money. You're getting away from all my inheritance and everything. And then we'll see how much more cooperative these two kids are. I say this all the time. My daily listeners, you guys will know, this is further proof that money isn't everything. I know we have struggled. Y'all know my struggles. I know y'all struggles. Times are tough. Some people have had times where tough and got out of it. Just know that your family and your relationships that you have with your people are always going to triumph your bills and everything. Look at these two people that you would think has everything, and they're trying to get away from David and Victoria Beckham. Like that is their problem that they have right now. They're trying to get away from their billionaire parents because Victoria danced on stage and she stopped making his wife's dress. All right, let's go over to Tank. This is, I mean, we have continued to cover this story from when it first happened. World Boxing Association strips Gervonta Tank Davis of WBA lightweight title following alleged DV incident. Remember when this first broke and I told you this is not going to just stay a civil suit. Could be all drag me in there. The title was Gervonta Tank Davis might be going to jail. People are like, oh, why are you saying that the title? Oh, this is a civil lawsuit. No, you don't have a civil lawsuit that was literally just 6 months ago and think that you're not going to have criminal charges being pressed against them and other issues like getting kicked off of the Jake Paul fight and now being stripped of your title. There is pictures and there's camera surveillance. You don't even need the girl to testify. It's crazy work. Let me read to you guys a little bit about what's happening. Gervonta Tank Davis has more problems on his hands. The Baltimore native has been stripped of his World Boxing Association lightweight title following an arrest warrant by Miami Garden Police Department related to his DV charges. As we previously reported, the warrant stems from allegations made by Davis's ex-girlfriend, who was a dancer, said that he put hands on her during an incident that allegedly took place October the 27th at Tootsie's, a gentleman club in Miami Garden. WBA president confirmed the decision over the weekend during a Spanish language talk show. In addition to the legal situation, the WBA also cited inactivity as a factor, noting that Davis has defended his lightweight title just twice in the past 3 years. His most recent defense came more than 10 months ago, and he currently has no fight scheduled. Has nothing to do with the fact that he hasn't fought. There's been boxers that have had titles and haven't fought in longer. It's Tank getting in his own way as always. He lost $40 million with Netflix and Jake Paul. He is going to go to jail. There is a warrant out for his arrest. Nobody can figure this out, though. I've talked to a couple of people, and I've also listened to a couple of other people on YouTube. I don't understand. There's a warrant out for his arrest. He hasn't turned himself in, but you're telling me it's really that hard to find Tank Davis? Like, what is he doing? Like, hiding out in a bunker? Like, we can find Bin Laden. Like, I don't understand what's going on with that, but he will be arrested shortly. Like I said, there are pictures and videos, even if his ex-girlfriend does not want to testify. And just to add, there's other ex-girlfriends, they're not really his girlfriends, but ex-girlfriends who have made these claims against them. I've also heard that they are filing civil suits, which will mean there'll be more criminal charges for Tank. His life is pretty much over. Okay, let's go over to Donald Trump. And I tried to go through a day without talking too much about Donald Trump, but there's too much going on with this Greenland and this Nobel Peace Prize. I just had to play this for you guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. as much as I try to stay in the middle, as much as I try to watch Fox News, digest what's going on the right, watch CNN, digest what's going on in the left, and try to just have unbiased, just good conversation with you guys, you hear things like this, and it's just so hard to digest. Let's go over to that now.
Trump says he needs Greenland from Denmark because his feelings were hurt by Norway.
What? How can a president say his feelings were hurt? That's just crazy.
No, really. Here's the full text he sent to the Prime Minister of Norway, Jonas Gahr Store. He said, "Dear Jonas, considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars, plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. Denmark cannot protect land from Russia or China. And why do they have right of ownership anyway? There are no written documents. It's only a boat that landed there hundreds of years ago. But we also had boats there also. I have done more for NATO than any person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. The world is not secure unless we have complete and total control of Greenland. Thank you, President DJT." Those capitalizations scattered throughout, those are his. They make no sense. Just to repeat, this is the President of the United States saying he needs to take Greenland from Denmark because Norway hurt his feelings. Also, for the record, Norway, the country, doesn't give out Nobel Peace Prizes. An independent Nobel Peace Prize committee does. But even if they did, how does that justify the president taking Greenland from Denmark, a NATO territory that is defended by NATO, of which the United States is a part? Which basically means we can use it for defense as if we do own it. Denmark and Greenland have both said so. No matter, President Trump says that if any of our European allies try to stand in his way, he's going to tariff them all over again. How's another 10% feel he's now declaring?
Okay. So to be fair, Donald Trump negotiates like this. He talks as if like it's going to be the end of the world. Same thing with China, with the terrorists. Well, I'm going to tariff you forever, 500%. Or Venezuela. He gets everyone's attention, and then his style is to be like, you want me to keep going? I can keep going, or you can just come and meet me in the middle. There's, I think, an expression in the stock market where it's like taco, Trump always caves over time, or something like that. But this is this man's style, whether you like it or not. I would understand a little bit more the extra crazy reaction if Trump wasn't speaking to try to have a peaceful transfer of power. Again, just talking to you from the Fox News point of view. And Donald Trump is, while he's talking about military force or tariff, whatever, he's also speaking to the people of Greenland. And I think the last offer was $100,000. Now, whether you think that is right or wrong, like I said, just giving you both sides. I'm not saying what I agree with or not. I just want to know is, just to be clear, forget the Nobel Peace Prize for a second. Like, if he mentions that damn Peace Prize, again, I'm literally going to freak out. But take that aside. Greenland, it's not just, oh, we're going to take it. Or like what he said, we could do this the easy way, or we could do this the hard way. He is actively, daily working on a way to try to buy or try to work something out, or trying to let the people of Greenland know, hey, we want to give you $100,000 plus with the minerals, and we could do this, and we can make you rich, and we can make you prosperous. Now, the people of Greenland has spoken loud and clearly and said, look, we're not for sale. We're not interested. We shall see. But like I always say, Donald Trump does himself a detriment, in my opinion, by talking all of these crazy things that just get lost in the headline. And a lot of people don't even know that he's offering them $100,000. Okay. Let's go over to something that I really, really wanted to talk about here. This is Robert Griffin III. Okay. Now, he has been known to say some racial things before, but let's focus on this now. Okay. You'll see his family here in the picture. He is married to, I'm assuming, a white lady. I'm not sure if she's maybe Spanish. I think she's just like a white lady. She looks white to me. Okay. He said, and they have 4 children, so they're mixed children. Robert says, I have a dream that my 4 little girls will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, MLK Day. Now, a lot of people have been going off, again, because it's Robert and he has said some questionable things. If we just take this incident, now, his daughters that you see here in this picture are mixed. Now, a lot of people are saying, you think that your girls have it hard? They're mixed, they have long hair, they're this or they're that. And people are saying this quote is more reserved for quote unquote darker skinned people that will be judged by the color of their skin. And they don't think it's fair for him to say that he wishes his children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. But my question is yes, they might not be quote unquote dark skin, or they might not be quote unquote typically African-American looking, which I don't know what that is. But we have spoken on the show already at length. I made a specific episode about colorism. And I bring it back to the time where I lived in South Africa and I learned a lot about apartheid. I learned a lot about Nelson Mandela. I visited his jail and his jail cell 2 times. So I know the whole history about Robben Island and colorism. I bring that back to today and I ask you, is it wrong for a Black man that has mixed children that look stereotypically acceptable, air quotes, that are not, again, like I said, air quotes, darker skin? Do you not think that it's okay for this Black man to say that he wishes that his 4 little girls could live in a world where they're not judged by the color of their skin? Is it impossible that one of his girls have come home and she was judged by the color of her skin? You think it's possible that somebody called her an N-word even though she's not dark skinned, or because she doesn't have an afro or dreads? Like, I just want to know, where does the line fit for somebody who's Black or somebody who's mixed or somebody who's whatever? Because we all know that a racist person will still say racist things to somebody who's mixed. We all know that, right? Because they're mixed or they're biracial when something is good, but when something is bad, that's when they'll be called the N-word. So I really can't wait to go to the comment section shortly to get your guys' opinion on this. But my question is, can a Black man that has biracial children wish that his 4 girls can live in a world where they're not judged by the color of the skin, but their content of their character? Let's jump over to Vanessa Williams. This picture to my right, but I think you're left when you guys are seeing this. This is Vanessa Williams. Yes, the Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams reveals she's been on a weight loss medication, Mounjaro, for 2 years to help with her menopause struggles. She says, it's a game changer. I want to be here for a long time and look my best. So what am I going to do? Now, those of you who are not seeing this picture, this is a shocking picture to me. Like, this is the Vanessa Williams. And if I didn't see this caption to know this was Vanessa Williams, I would think it was maybe like a cancer patient. Like, she looks like she may be 85 to 90 pounds, for those of you who are not seeing this picture. Vanessa Williams sat down for an exclusive interview with Hello Magazine and opened up about her life in her 60s and how she is tackling her menopause issues with GLP-1 medication, Mounjaro. Vanessa reveals that she's been on the weight loss medication for 2 years now. It's a game changer, she said. When I turned 60, I was like, I want to be here for a long time and I want to look my best. So what am I going to do? My 50s were hard. I started pre-menopause in my late 40s, but suddenly 51 came, and it's crazy how your body changes. You feel out of control because you're working out the same, eating the same, and your body is not reacting the way it used to. For those wondering, Mounjaro is a prescribed weekly injection for adults with type 2 diabetes to improve blood sugar, and also used as a chronic weight management, working as a GIP and GLP-1 receptor amongst that helps control appetite and food intake along with diet and exercise. Vanessa let it be known that she's open to trying new things to keep her looking and feeling youthful. From facials, et cetera, whatever, to menopause, she said that she's willing to do whatever it takes. Science is amazing, she says. And I'm like, what's next? Bring it on. So I, of course, never experienced menopause, don't know anything about menopause. I'm not married, and I've never been with somebody that's gone through menopause. I do have a mother and I do have a sister. However, I want to lean on you ladies to ask, is this something that's normal? Has she gone too far? Is this something that is saying that it's for menopause and saying that it's for this, but it's kind of a little bit gone to the extreme? What do you ladies in the comment section think of Vanessa Williams? Okay. Now, in closing out, I want to talk to you guys about NBA YoungBoy. Now, for those of you who don't know, NBA YoungBoy, one of the, I think it's said the most, I think it's the most certified singles in the United States, like huge, okay? Top artist. He's not necessarily mainstream, but still huge. I'm sure y'all have heard of NBA YoungBoy. Now, NBA YoungBoy has just named his new album Make America Slime Again, which is, of course, taken from Donald Trump's slogan, Make America Great Again. Now, those of you who don't know, NBA YoungBoy has a very successful career, but he has always gotten himself in trouble and in and out of jail. Donald Trump gave him a pardon. Listen to what he is saying about Donald Trump in this quick clip. And the reason why I really wanted to play it for you are for the naysayers out there who don't think that Donald Trump would ever give Diddy a pardon, or, when I say, Trump was willing to give Diddy a pardon, but Diddy was not willing to do some of the things that Donald Trump wanted him to say. Now, I brought that point up with Nicki Minaj when you see that she went on stage with Erica Kirk, and what she was saying about JD Vance being so handsome and Donald Trump, our president, being so handsome. Nicki Minaj is trying to get, you heard what Don Lemon said. Nicki Minaj is an undocumented citizen. Nicki Minaj's husband is a registered offender, and I think it's her brother or something, has some PDF file stuff going on. So this is what happens to artists or people in the entertainment industry that want something for Donald Trump. It's not, I might do this. No, it's, you want a pardon, you want something from me, you go all out. Listen to NBA YoungBoy.
To make America slime again. Like, what does that title mean to you?
I mean, follow whatever Trump applying.
Follow whatever Trump applying?
Yeah.
In what way? Like,
in every way.
Well, Trump pardoned you, got you off house arrest.
I don't know nothing about that.
What you mean? Did you ever speak to him about, did you ever have a...
No, nothing about that.
Right. Okay. But the album's name, Make America Slime Again. The tour is named Make America Slime Again.
Okay. It was, the name was like, it's just to enforce whatever Trump applying. That's it.
Have you ever met Trump?
Why do you keep asking?
Because you got me thinking right now. Why be like...
You want a pardon from Donald J. Trump. That's the extent you have to go. What do you mean by naming your album that? Follow whatever Donald Trump says. That is what NBA YoungBoy now is going to say in every single interview, every single press, every single podcast. That's going to be spread to all of his fan base, which is from, I don't know, 15 to like 25. That's how Donald Trump operates. You see Nicki Minaj, now NBA YoungBoy. Crazy work. Okay, let's now go to social discussion, which is a really, really good social discussion. Today's social discussion are, do women really know what they want? Lesson of the day is make sure your partner is the one who is the most, that you are the most attracted to in the room. I got a really good video and a debate. And also question of the day is, what is something you didn't realize was a struggle until you got older? Let's go over and pay some bills, and we'll jump over to social lesson and question of the day. All right, before we get to social discussion, I have a very important question to ask y'all. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Hold up, wait, let me answer that question for you. It's indirect. Yes, they are. All three of them, any device that you've ever gone online with, they're all vulnerable. If you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform, please go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trendoutloud, to get your 14-day free, and I want to highlight free, trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your cell phone or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers, and they sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That's why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and out louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and keeping your back door open. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal information is ever found on the dark web, real-time fraud alerts for your credit card or banking information. You also get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager. They have US-based round-the-clock customer service. Also, in the event that anything should ever go wrong, Aura also includes, not offers, but includes a $5 million identity insurance protection package. Go to my sponsor below, Aura, or if it's a little bit easier, just take out your phone, your cameras, stick it at the screen, and go follow that, what do you call this? A QR code, follow the QR code, and it will take you to a free trial. Like I said earlier, anything that you do online, the company that has your information, they are legally allowed to sell your information in the spirit of, oh, we want to know what Trent's watching, we know what he's shopping. Yeah, don't sell my credit card and my address and my phone number. That's how you get spam phone calls, text messages with links that if you touch it, you lose a bunch of money, emails. Like, I don't want nobody calling me. I don't want nobody texting me. Aura can get rid of all your information that's on the dark web. Absolutely free with the link below and the QR code. All right, so make sure you follow that today. Also, before we go to social discussion, I want to tell you guys about Super Chat or Super Thanks. A lot of people have always asked, hey, do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? I watch you every day. I want to give back to the show. The best way to give back is through a Super Chat while I'm on live, or a Super Thanks, which you'll see around the comment section. You might have to click 3 buttons and you'll see a little tab that says thanks. You click that. You could choose whatever amount you want. And you can also, what I love is you could remove the thanks and leave whatever comment you'd like. It sends me a notification. It's like sending me a text message. Hey, Trent, say whatever you want, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, or just say something, whatever. And I can read it back on the next day in the show if you would like, but I'll definitely heart it and reply back to you expeditiously. I'm trying to do my TI thing here. Here is YouTube explaining Super Thanks better than I can.
Buy a Super Thanks by clicking the Thanks button under your video. There are multiple price points a viewer can purchase that each have their own special one-time animation. As an added bonus, viewers will get to post a distinct, colorful comment in your video's comment section.
Also, do not forget to sign up. Hey, where is it? Also, do not forget to sign up for the Out Loud membership today. If you're on YouTube, you will see it above me. You'll see a join button, and join up today and become an Out Louder, okay? Now, let's go to social discussion. I'm really excited about this one. Ladies, do you know what you really want? You say you want one thing, but do you really know? Take a listen.
He was 100%. I have the best relationship that has ever existed in the existence of relationships. What rational?
Women aren't rational.
No, hold on. Women are not irrational.
Women aren't rational. That's the reality. Look, and you may not like what I'm saying. Women are not rational. Women are the only people that will get upset at you for giving them what they want. A woman will want a man who has, I want a man who's wealthy, who's affluent. She gets that. They get married, and now she's complaining about time. Right now, he gives her a time.
But and now she didn't know what she wanted.
Wait, and now. You just hit it right.
No.
Women don't know what they want.
Wait, but not knowing what you want and irrational is not the same thing.
And then wait. And now he gives her time. Now he puts work aside. Now he's home all the time. Oh, he's home too much. Why are you always home? This is what men deal with on the regular.
Okay. She caught herself up there. That was her own fault. But I think that both men and women don't always know what they want. Okay. And I think men, because men are so just cold and lack depth, they're just like, hey, you said you wanted a man that was busy and out at work and doing all of this and providing. And now we're married and you're upset that I'm not home. So, okay, you're upset that I'm not home. So I'm going to stay home and give up. And they're just like, that's the problem with men and women. It's like men are like A and B and women are like A, B, C, and D and want to talk. And that's why I always go back and I say, quality time is always the best love language. All of them are important, but to me, it's the best because spending time speaking to each other, exploring one another. And it doesn't only have to be sitting down face to face in a argumentative style. Take a trip, drive somewhere, do something on the weekends, talk. When you are beginning your relationship, it's so important to really deep dive. What do you want out of life? What are your interests? What do you want to do? What kind of family? How many kids? What are you going to do with there? And you keep on going and you keep on talking in every situation and you deep dive into every situation and you deep dive into each other. And then you pour into each other because you're so ingrained in each other's lives that you become more understanding in each other's lives. So this guy saying, women don't know what they want. He is just not ingrained in his woman's life and his woman is not ingrained in his life because if he is out there, quote unquote, working for his dream or working for whatever, if she is included in that dream, she's not going to mind him being away because he's calling her at lunch saying, I'm nervous about this, or I'm excited about this, or I'm about to do this really big deal. All right, baby, yeah, call me back. Woo, baby, we signed a deal. I can't wait to see you at home. She's not going to mind that you're out. Or if it comes to a point where, listen, things have slowed down in the business a little. I do want you home a little bit more now. Okay, so are you sure? Because that means I'll have to, and then you talk and then you work out. Y'all don't talk enough. And that is the problem. Y'all stay so surface level, stay on who's pretty, who's hot, who has money. And you forget that we're humans and we need to be entrenched in each other's lives. You get too caught up with your friends, women, guys, you get too caught up with your boys and you're not one. You're not a yin and yang. And when you're not a yin and yang, that is when things get uncomfortable and just weird. All right, let's go over to a really good one because I've said this a bunch of times. Let's go over to lesson of the day. Make sure your partner is the one who is the most attractive to you in the room. You guys have heard me say that, and I'd like to go into more detail after this. All right, listen to this very carefully.
The most beautiful woman in your eyes that you've ever seen, to you, not to the world, but to you. Cut. Go find your wife. Cut.
Wait, I actually want to talk about that. Go ahead. So I both agree and disagree with that one that I heard earlier where she said, if I'm not the most beautiful, most gorgeous person you've ever seen in your eyes. I think that ideally your partner looks at you and finds you incredibly attractive. They love you. They love the way you look, whatever. And sometimes I think she's saying this, I think what she's getting at, if I'm being very charitable, is just like, you have to think that you love me so much you would never want to be with anyone else.
No, that's not what she meant. That's not what she meant.
Okay,
That's
talk
not what
about
she
that.
said.
Talk about that.
That's not what she said.
I do wanna talk about it.
I think she really meant, I got the most beautiful. That's the kind of girl that's like, oh my God, would you still love me if I was a worm? That's the kind of energy that I get. Okay, this is the I gotta be the most beautiful you've ever seen in your life, or else cut. That's what I got, and it's fun. It's okay, babe. You heard that? You heard, babe. I heard. If I was, that's her.
Okay, no, that's not what I meant at all. Okay, I'm not saying that, oh my God, if I was a worm, would you like me? This isn't so not my personality. What I mean is that it is a choice to decide that your partner is the most beautiful person that you've ever been with. I could be with you and tell you like, yeah, you're probably not it because Anthony Joshua exists. Like, how is that going to help anyone? It is a conscious choice for you to decide that your partner is the most beautiful person that you've ever seen and that you're sticking with that person. And obviously, I'm not. The person that you are is probably not the most beautiful person in society's mind, but you decide that she is. I just feel like men have this tendency of always thinking that they can do and get better even if they have the most beautiful woman, right? And I've seen it a lot on TikTok, trends of women saying, am I the most beautiful woman that you've ever been with? And the men will bluntly, looking like nothing, mind you, say no.
All right, the only part that I disagree with her is when she said, guys will say that looking like nothing, mind you. Like, who cares? Like, she just exposed herself a little bit there. But for the most part, I agree with 100% what she said. And these guys totally missed the boat. I think one of the guys in the white suit who's like, oh, I kind of agree or disagree. I wish these men would invite me on their podcast. All these guys, like, they're totally missed the point. And again, for my daily listeners, you know I have said this probably like 20 times. I am not going to be in a serious relationship with a woman or married to a woman that I don't think, me personally, is the most beautiful girl in the room. And I've said this to you guys all the time, even women, you have to make sure that you're with a person that you know that no matter which room you're in, I don't care if you're with the Hollywood elites, I don't care if you're with the royal family, or I don't care if you're at the theater down the street. You got to know that you are always going to pick that person, your partner, every single room. And that's what she's saying. She's not saying, oh, I want my man to think I'm the most beautiful, what society says I'm beautiful. How is that possible? That's just impossible. Who is the most beautiful girl in the world? And could you imagine if somebody is the most beautiful person in the world and this one guy finds him? It's impossible. It's the same thing I say. It doesn't mean that technically, facial structure wise, that my wife is, but to me, she's the most beautiful girl in the world. To me, because it goes on beyond her physical appearance, because I know and I love her. And she is the most beautiful girl in the world because of her personality, because of her ambition, and because of her honesty, and because of her loyalty, and because of our partnership, and because of our strategy of how we want to take on life. She becomes blindly the most beautiful girl to me. Am I super attracted to her? Of course. I wouldn't be with somebody who I was unattracted to. But that attraction and then our relationship and the depth, oh my gosh, she becomes the most beautiful girl in the world. That's why when she's walking around the house in a t-shirt and boy shorts, I'm like, you're the most beautiful girl in the world. Coming out the shower, your hair doesn't got to be done, no makeup, nothing. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. And I'm always going to choose you because I'm choosing you, not you. And that's what those guys missed. Trust me, you have to be that in love with your partner. They have to be the most beautiful person in the world, and everything else gets blinded. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, let's go to question of the day, and then I'm very excited to go to comment of the day. All right, this is a pretty good question, if I do say so myself. What is something you didn't realize was a struggle until you were older? I'm sure we all went through this. Finding a good partner, keeping good character, eating healthy, and patience. Just right away there, you thought, I can't wait to get older. This is this. I'm going to get a job. I'll be able to do whatever I want. I'll live in my own house. I'll party. I'll do whatever. Just patience. You didn't realize how hard it would be patient to, go through a career. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? Eating healthy, I totally agree. That's super hard. keeping good character, finding a good partner, super hard. Next person said, cooking a full dinner after work all day. Very good point. Our parents were built different. I got a meal prep in advance. Another person said, work. I never knew we had to work this hard to struggle not to be homeless or hungry. 1000%. You just thought, oh, your parents went to work and came home. Like, what's the big deal? We're in school all day. We're studying math and science, and we're doing this, and we're trying to get diplomas. It's like, you guys just go to work. Oh yeah. Somebody said getting older. Woo, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Getting older itself, it really hits you when living through it. Slowing down, losing energy, pain, looking different, losing people. Totally agree with that. Now I understand how my mom was broke the day after payday. Being the person that has to figure out what everybody is eating every day. That's hard. That's definitely hard. Another person said adulting, being responsible, accountability, emotional intelligence, financial literacy, judge of character, knowing the difference in choosing what I can go on and on with. Oh, I can go on and on. Deciding to put back the pack of meat because you found it somewhere else for 50 cents cheaper. That's funny. Planning dinner for the week, eating healthy, adult friendships, figuring out what to make for dinner. Another one. There's a lot of eating dinner here. Setting and holding healthy boundaries. Very, very good point. Just life in general. Controlling my face when people are talking. That's funny. Finding a good person. I feel like finding a good person is friggin' hard, man. Being an award-winning actress at work. That's funny. Driving at night. What? Buying kitchenware because my forks are missing and it's only me. Being grown, staying in shape. All right, really good ones. All right, I'm going over to the comment section now to hear the comments of the entire show. All right, what up, y'all? What up? I am here. Hello. Let me scroll up. Let me see who's in the house today. Boom, Kim's the first one. What up, Kim? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone's doing well. Sheila's here. Let's do this. Crystal's here. What up? Trent out louders. We missed y'all. I missed y'all too, man. Crystal said, let's go. Kim says, Don Lemon is going live right now. I was just there seeing that you came on, so I switched over, but he doesn't seem bothered by all the Trump stuff. Well, thank you for switching over. I know Don goes live at 5, so thank you all for switching over here. Next one is, this is some bots. Mystery said, hello, Trent from Twitch. What up? Streaming from Twitch in the UK. Don Lemon did not break any laws. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Kim. Hope you had a nice break. I did have a very, very nice break. I felt like I was on vacation, man. Yeah, I was. I went out Friday night, did some cool things Saturday, went out Saturday night for dinner. Sunday, I took a drive and I did like some zoo stuff with somebody. Like, yeah, I had a good weekend. I felt like I was like away on vacation with someone. So that was really, really fun. And Monday was a nice kind of just relaxing, chill day. So I had a great weekend. William said unemployment behavior. Not too sure what that is. Jack said arrest Don Lemon. Okay. Patrice said peace, y'all, Bahamas. What up, Bahamas? Jose said repent. No, okay, this is something else. Rob said you're sick. Okay, thanks, Rob. Hot Thugga said hello. William said it's always about race with these people. Kim said, hey, Natasha and Crystal. What up? Hey, Kim. You are the pick-me. Is that? I guess he's talking to Dawn. I hope you're not talking to me. Hey, Kim. Hope you're having a great day. She does not know what she is talking about. I guess I'm sure you're talking about Nicki Minaj. Kim said, you guys doing great. Thank you for asking. Don should not, Anna said. I guess this should not go to not go to jail. Crystal says, no, he should not. He was there just documenting the issue. Fair. Eddie said something that's not nice. Joy said, hi, Trent and fellow Out Louders. Did I catch a live? I'm about to start driving, so I can't comment. It's all right. Thank you for tuning in, Joy. Eddie says, he's annoying trying to stay relevant. Kim said, hey, Joy. Hope all is well. Don says, so you are cool with him blaming the source that brought him that story? I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking y'all. Joy says, heavy traffic, 2 hours to get home. Well, Joy, we're here with you along for the ride, all right? Goddess said, greetings, Trent. Please stop attempting to report us law. Don Lemon isn't guilty of anything but reporting. Please stop attempting to report us law. Well, I wasn't reporting you law. I was reading law. There's a law called the FACE Act, and that is just the law. And it will be up to the law, the DOJ, which has always been on the right or MAGA side lately because of Pam Bondi. And if the law says that you cannot go into, let me read it again for those who may have missed it. This law, the FACE Act, prohibits use or threat of force, physical obstruction, or intimidation at places of worship, which is a church, right? Or reproductive health facilities. Prohibits intentional property damage at any of those facilities. Also, the AG is allowed to seek injunctive relief, damages, or civil penalties against the violator. So we shall see. What up, my brother? This was Robert. What up, my brother, Trent and Out Louders? Much love to everybody. Many blessings. Happy New Year. What up, what up, what up, what up, Robert? Hey, Melva's in the building. Melva says, why am I receiving 2 notifications of the same show on YouTube for only Trent? Well, you're receiving 2 notifications because one, you can click if you want to read. If you want to watch me on your phone. Or the other one is if you want to watch me on your TV or your laptop. We have 2 signals going out, and we actually even post that at the end as well. So those who want to watch cell phone version or TV version, it's up to you. And I'm sorry that it's confusing. We put a little cell phone in the front with the M, trying to make it a little bit more clear. Kim said, be sure to hit that like button. Thank you, Kim. Somebody says that's crazy. Peaches, hey, Peaches, my Jamaican sister, said, hit that button. Bam, bam, bam. Peaches says, we were well raised. Never said hello from Roxanne, said hello from Michigan. Hello, Roxanne. Hey, Roxy from Michigan. Crystal said, did anybody see Putin's response to Donald sending this out? I think somebody else responded. Was somebody from Scotland or no? Somebody said something. I don't remember who it was. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Cayman, I think. I'm Portuguese. I raised a mixed Jamaican and Portuguese son that is now accomplished horseman, stock contractor, horse trainer, and bull riding rodeo champion on both circuits, the black rodeo and white. Okay. Gosh, Mr. T is something else with the demands from Greenland and the Nobel Peace Prize. He just won't let things go. That's Donald Trump, by the way, not me. It seems to me like all black men want their kids mixed. Cayman said the line is blurred for mixed kids. Nolan said, hey, letters. What up, Nolan? What up, what up, what up, what up? Cayman said he's absolutely correct. He can live in a world like that, but it's harder than you think. As a mother of a mixed son who is a champion of black and white, now understand your answer. Nolan says she looks sick. Leave the DRUGs alone. Okay, I just wanted a woman to say that. You're talking about Vanessa Williams. Kim says, oh my gosh, I thought it was a fake AI bobblehead of somebody. No, that is Vanessa Williams. Wow, Vanessa Williams has lost an awful lot of weight. Cayman says, what the hell is wrong with Vanessa Williams? Poor baby. Those shops are people. My mother is 98 pounds, but she's never been more than 125 in her life. Next person, Valerie says it's too far. Fair. Teresa said, not normal, but people are doing that with DRUG treatment. That is for diabetes. That's why for me, it was shocking. Like, if she would have come out and like posed and said, you know, it's been hard with menopause and dieting and this and that, but now I've taken this Mounjaro and it's, I've lost too much weight and now I'm trying to find a balance, but at the end of the day, I'm healthy. I think that would have been more understandable, but she's there posing like, hey, and she's literally like, oh, it's okay, I'll do this and I'll do that. And what's next? And I can't wait to do, like, she's just like going on as if she looks normal. That to me is what's shocking, because you can't always control what these medications do to you. So I'm just a little bit shocked that she didn't even acknowledge that she looks so vastly different. Mark said free Diddy. Mars says, so many effing sellouts, Uncle and A. What up, Mars, by the way? So many effing sellouts, Uncle and Auntie Toms. I think you're saying Gwen, Nicki, and the other rappers. Teresa said, Mark, if you study parallel dimensions, that you can really offer what? Who's Mark? Mark, if you study parallel dimensions, then you can really offer Diddy and others a get out of jail card. This system, the way it stands, keeps its citizens in the dark. Diddy is innocent. I'm not exactly her who Teresa. Oh, hold on. There's something else. Maybe she's correcting this. By the way, I'm not a Diddy fan. Very knowledgeable person. Start with Bill Carson. Okay, thank you for that. Gia, hey, what up, Gia? Gia, hey, Trent, I missed you yesterday. I missed all you guys too. What up, Gia? Teresa said, hey, Mars, Crystal, and Kim. Teresa said, I'm going down to Minnesota. I'm praying for everyone's safety. Wow, please let us know and see if you want to come on our live and like report from there or whatever, please. Teresa said, all women are not gold diggers. I wish commenters would stop pushing their negative image. I agree. More than anything, I want peace in my life. That's Joy. Next person, no Crystal, share link. Mars says, we know what we want, but it's such a blanket statement. As I've gotten older and more mature, I know what I think people don't want to take the time to get to know each other. Yes, totally agree with that, Mars. Crystal said, yes, Trent, I agree. Communication is key, and men and women both understand what they want and each other want if they just communicated. 100% agree with you, Crystal. Teresa says, he can be attracted to you, but are you equally attracted to him? If not, there's a huge problem. Huge is the operative word. Totally. Yeah, you both have to feel that same way. Emma says, hey, Kim, happy Tuesday. How was your weekend? Emma says, I view people from the inside out. The exterior could be beautiful, but the person can be a horrible human. Totally agree. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, from Teresa. Natasha said, I'm Bayesian and Irish, and I had to deal with racism on both sides of the family growing up. It's common in mixed kids. That's my point. And I understand, again, like I said, I hate talking about it, but I understand a darker complexion, features, stereotypical hair, stereotypical, like I get it. But in this world and in the past, whether it be Jim Crow, whether it be apartheid, whether it be, segregation, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think Black people should be taking the time to be like, you're mixed, so you have it easier. Okay, but they still don't have it like a white person. I'll give it to you. Do they maybe have it easier? Maybe they do in some circumstances, but I just question, like, is it not okay for a Black man to just wish that his children were not based even on their mixed color of their skin. He's saying, even if they're mixed or whatever, it's like, I wish that they just were judged on the content of their character. I wish they could just walk in a room and they're just judged on their character. And to make it even worse, they're women. So they have two things going against them. That's why I always say women and Black women or mixed women have it the worst in this world, because they're never just judged on the content of their character. They're judged because they're women by men and by other women. And then they're judged if they're mixed, if they're Black, if they're whatever. And it's just hard out here, man. Anyways, Kip says, hey, Teresa, totally agree with you. He is in the eye of the beholder. Kay said, hi, Trent. Kike. Kate, listening from West London. What up, West London? Mars says, I know what I want. I think people don't really take the time to get to know each other. There are way too many options on social media. This is a big problem, 1000%. People are all over the place, and in pre-potential talking stages. Sorry, my dyslexia is acting up today, but Mars, totally agree with you. I know what I want, and people don't take the time to look for what they want, and people don't take time to understand each other and make sure that they're with the right person, and they let all the other fun stuff get in the way. You have to manage that. Hey, Tez in the chat. That's from Kim. Tez says, hey, Tez, what's up, man? Tez. Hey, Kim. Hey there. Kim says, hey, Tez, in the chat once again. Hey, Tez, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. You're driving. All right, Kim is talking to Thayer. Good one, Natasha. Teresa said, I hope we can get past race in our country a lot sooner than later. This is holding us back from so many advancements. Bottom line, people are people. Totally agree. Janessa says, are you Canadian? I hear an accent, but can't place it. So I said this last weekend and my mother called me and got mad at me, but my parents are Jamaican. I was conceived in Florida. Yes, it's a little joke, but I was born in Canada. I am Canadian, but I like to say that I'm Jamaican. I was raised in a Jamaican household, very Jamaican parents. But I think for my mom, she's like, yo, do you know what we had to do to bring you here to give you these opportunities? So she just likes for me to like accentuate that part. So if you ask me, I'll just tell you I'm Jamaican, but my mom watches every single one of my shows, so I want to get a text message. Hi, Mom. Love you. Next one is Teresa. I'm in a meeting and got the notification, but didn't get a sound. You know that ain't cool. Huh? I was in a meeting and got the notification, but didn't get a sound. I don't know what that means. Alicia said, hi, everyone. Your girl from Ohio. What up? What up? Ohio in the building. Teresa said, yeah, that doesn't look like Vanessa Williams. I'll have to revisit that. Kim said, I hope everyone's having a great night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, Kim. Kim says, always peace and love and happiness. Bye, Kim. Mars says, hey, T. What up, what up, what up, what up, Mars? Miss Jones, good reporting, Trent. Well, thank you very, very much. Hey, Teresa, out louders. Carrie said, hey, Trent, watching you on my night shift from Cornwall, UK. Love that. UK in the building. Jay Jackson said, hey, Trent, what up, what up, what up? And Teresa says, have your mom write a cookbook so we can have the tea on all that good food. Trust me, she would do that. No problem. All right. Let me go. Oh, last person here said, who's this? Tanisha said, hey, Trent, watching from Michigan. What up, what up, what up? Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? All right, let me just go over here quickly to just give you guys a little closeout, and then we'll go to the last message, okay? Thank you very much for hanging with me, y'all, and thank you for letting me have the day off yesterday. Hey, you know what? I didn't give us any round of applause, yo. And air horns from Martin Luther King Day. All right, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll get back to the comments right after this closeout for the last comments of the day, okay? Before I let you guys go, just want to remind y'all of 3 things. While we're on live, feel free to give back super chats, or after we post this video, there's super thanks. You'll see the 3 buttons below. Just click that and you can give back whatever you would like, whatever you do, whatever you give. We are very appreciative of it. Also, do not forget to sign up for the Out Loud membership today. Become an official Out Louder. You'll see the join button if you're on YouTube, or a membership button somewhere on the tabs. And lastly, please do not forget the first link below. Aura, make sure you guys sign up today. Anything that you do online, any of your information that is out there on any site, whether it be Amazon or Netflix, can be sold to the dark web for absolutely for free for the next 14 days. Aura could take all of that offline for you and keep it off, right? So make sure you sign up today. Now, before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you of the 3 biggest ways to keep up with the Trend Out Loud show. The first one is podcast platforms. For those of you who like to listen to shows like this, head on over to any pod site, type in Trend Out Loud, the show will pop up. Do not forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And you all know we upload 5 days a week. We got it popping over here. Now, the second way is for those of you who are like me that like video. I need visuals. Head on over to YouTube, type in Trend Out Loud. When you're there, I'm going to need you to do 6 things. Please, please, please hit that subscribe and like button, get the algorithming. Please, 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 please try to comment below. I love all the live comments, but we still need comments underneath the video. You guys are my co-hosts. I do the show with you. So if I'm asking questions or I'm talking and you guys don't give me any takes in the comment section, I'm just talking about myself, and that is just not cool, all right? Also, for those of you who don't want to join in on the conversation, I don't want to give you all any pressure, but one thing that you can comment is let me know where you are watching from. Every night before I go to bed, I look at all the comments, and I love to see which country or city you're watching from, because I love to see how global the show is, all right? So please comment something. Fourth thing, also very important, is y'all know that we are trying very hard to grow this channel and this community. So if you're liking the show, if you're liking the content, please share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it helps in growing the channel and our community of people that like to hear both sides and communicate and have healthy discussions. Fifth, like I've said already, sign up for the Out Loud membership. And number 6, do not forget the super thanks or super chat while we're on live. Now, for those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trend Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. And speaking of IG, please follow the Trend Out Loud show on Instagram. I am back this January, super active on that Instagram account. Almost every hour, every 2 hours, I'm giving you quick takes, playing you guys some videos, some fun videos, some laughing videos, some news videos, some political videos, spreading it out pretty much just like this show. But I think it's a fun way to kind of interact with you guys. You guys can comment. You get quick takes. And I would say at least half of that content, we bring it here on the YouTube show and give you guys long form and talk to you about it then, okay? And it also helps us connect with you when the show is over as well too, all right? So make sure you follow the Trend Out Loud show on YouTube. And just coming to think of it, I told you there are 3 ways to keep up with us, podcast and video. I forgot the third one, the new way. You can catch us on live weekdays, anywhere between 5 and 6 p.m. we will start, but we will be live on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Kick. So make sure that you guys check us out. Podcast platforms, YouTube, or streaming services, okay? All right, let me just go over to the final comments, and then I'm going to sign out. Mars says, my dad was half white with hazel eyes. We were not allowed to talk different shades in my house. We were all just black, not light or dark skin. See, I love that. That, for me, some people disagree, but for me, I am a black man. Again, I got a little trouble by my mom last week, and like, yo, your grandfather had white in him. This had white in it. Like, we are all come from some sort of mix places. We all know that. Even the darkest person, they have some mix. But my point is that, especially me sitting on a show, I'm not going to say, yeah, well, on my mom's side, there's white, but it's nobody's business to go to that deep. And I am a black man. Now, yes, if I'm married with somebody or I'm getting into a serious relationship, I'll go down my family tree because that's important if, you know, you want to have kids or whatever. But I just think when we're outside, we need to stop separating ourselves so much, and we are just black people. We have enough going on from outside issues, and we should stick together more. But Mars and I are always agreeing. Shout out to Mars. Mystery said, great show, Trent, as always. Thank you very much. Crystal said, damn, I've been driving the entire live, so it was hard responding. No problem, Crystal. I know you're always super active while driving. We don't want you to text or type and drive, so thank you for that. I wanted to reply about the most beautiful woman in the room. Okay, yes, I agree with you, Trent. The person that you're with should be the most good-looking person in the room to you. 100,000%. When you grow a connection with a person, and the more traits you love about their personality, the more you find them attractive. And eventually, when you are in love, they become the most attractive person in the whole world to you. Woo! Yo, Crystal, yo, we're ending. Yep, we're ending it off with Crystal. Crystal, that was literally put perfectly. Crystal, Out Louders in the building. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Y'all know we're back in effect. So I'll see you here tomorrow around the same time, same place. I love y'all. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.